Okay, so today I'm going to go over an issue that we have a lot out at our farm at our house. We're not a farm by any means, but we've got 5 head of cattle. We just had a baby calf yesterday, which is exciting. It's our first newborn on the property ever. We've had cows about 5, maybe 6 years, I can't recall. We built the barn. We've got a horse. We've got a goat. We used to have chickens. We've got a dog and a cat. So there's a lot of poop out here, and you know what attracts flies is poop, fecal matter, and that is just nasty for humans, and it is just nasty for animals. They're always swatting it with their tails. It's always in their food. It's, you know, on their poop, it's on their manure, it's on their faces. So we try and spray the cows down. We don't want to do that too much because they're licking themselves and all that kind of stuff. So I have come up with a great, not I have come up with, but I've started using a great fly attractant, and it's in a bottle. I'll show you here. It is called the Starbar Captivator fly trap. And what you do is you put one of these packs in there. It's water soluble, you know, it dissolves in water, so don't break it open, and it reeks. Even with the package on it, it reeks. It attracts the flies. They go in the top. There's a hole up there. You fill the water to the bottom. There's a line right there, fill line. And sometimes within 2 or 3 days, I have 1,000 flies in there. You leave it in there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's filled from here to here with dead flies. So after 30 days, you want to empty it, or if it's full before that, you want to empty it and start over. And I wash the whole thing out and get all the crud out of there. And actually I dig a hole and I bury the flies in that, because a lot of them are still alive, writhing in the top. You put them out there and it draws more flies to eat the other flies. So it's just kind of crazy and gross. But I'll fill this up and I'll show you where I hang them. So cows are curious by nature, and you don't want to put it where they're always going to be able to get to it. Right now we have that newborn calf, you can see by the hay bale there, and mama's in here just to keep away from the stepping hooves of the bigger ones. But they won't be in this pen for much more than another week or two. So I like to put them in this side of the pen instead of on that side of the pen. They can't get to them. Flies still are close to their manure, and it works very well. And that's it. You just hang them. I have like a malleable metal, so I don't know if it's aluminum or what it is, but it's easy to take that roll around. They don't send you string or any kind of zip ties or anything like that, but since you're going to remove them every 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, I make something that's easy to untie so you're not cutting it and getting a new one every time. And I just hang it, and that'll be full. Before I post this video, I'll show you the writhing full flies in there and tell you how long it took to get there. Now I'm going to go hang them in the barn, but for the horse and the goat, and see where else I can hang them. I've got 6 of them, and we'll go from there. Another place I like to put them is in by the goat, and then we've got a horse stall there. The horse is out in the pasture now, but the goat and the horse, they get a little stinky in here with their manure. But I put it on the goat side here, just because the goat can't reach it and play with it. Goats are inquisitive, horses are inquisitive, so I leave it on this side and then up high so they can't get to it, because it could be probably dangerous if they got into it and ate it. And then we don't have to empty this one quite as often because there's not as many flies in here as by the cows, but it's nice to keep it off their faces. So it's not bad yet, but they're on their face, and I don't like that. I like to treat my cows really well. They get by the eyes. I don't know if you can see that on there. So this is what I want to stop, and this is very limited. Sometimes there's 100 flies right on their face. We just want to take care of them and make them happy because they are good animals for us. This is a little stall that we built, or had built, out in the field for them to get out of the wind, the snow, the rain, just the elements. And so it's nice to have the fly traps outside, but really nice to have them inside. Flies are blown off naturally by a lot of wind, but when you get in here, the flies can't be blown off, so they sit on their faces, they sit on their bodies, they sit in the manure. So I put one hanging in here out of their way so they can't play with it. So as I'm going around and putting all of these up. I found one that I forgot to take down last year, and these things work so well. It must stink in there, plus the rotting flies. You can kind of see, I mean, there's still water in there from rain and all that kind of stuff. I did not put a capsule in there this year. It's been all winter. It was all fall, all winter, all spring so far, and the flies are already getting in there and getting trapped. And I don't know if you can see it. Not really. There's some live ones in there, and they get caught in that water and they die, and it makes it even more stinky, as you would say. But it's working year after year, but I'm going to replace this one to make it work even better. Another trick that I learned the first year, which was last year, is you see them flying around in there and you want to empty out all the bottom ones, but there's still ones flying around in the top. Make sure you fill that with water and drown them. You open it up and you have about 100 flies in your face, and they go out and procreate. So fill it with water, drown them, and then open it up. And then I like to dig that hole to put everything in so that it's not, I mean, they reek for one thing, and then that attracts more flies, but they're not trapped, they just procreate then. Here it is shown after I filled it, and I leave it in there for 5 or 10 minutes till they're all dead. So here's what I was talking about. I dug a hole, I'm far away from the barn. I put the nasty flies in there, some are still alive, and then I'll bury it. I just emptied them next to the house last year, and there was probably 1,000 flies on them immediately, which attracted them to the house but never trapped them. This will keep the other, you can see there's flies swarming it. They want to get to it already. So if you don't have a place for them to be attracted to, after they're done feeding on the dead flies, they're just going to be around your house and your animals. Now, if you can get them in the shade, the water won't dry out as fast and they'll last longer, or you can come out and add water to it. A little bit of a pain. So this one's in the best location. We get the most in this one, but it dries out the fastest because it's got sun. So you do need to keep buying these pouches. I forget how many are in them, 5 or 10 of them in there. You can go online and you can buy them. They were in short demand, or high demand last year, short supply. We were going to Tractor Supply, they were out. We were going to Fleet Farm, they were out. I think everywhere that we physically went, they were out. We could buy the bottles to hang out that you fill with water in these things, and I think they were $6 or $7 a piece. And then these were out everywhere, so I had to go online, and I don't know if I got them from Amazon or not or whatever. And then I actually called Tractor Supply, and they ordered some for me and then held them for me. So this is my last bag. I'm going to start ordering some more already. Little bit pricey, not too bad, but you're going to catch thousands of flies per packet in here. So if you find this video helpful, as you can see, I'm not an expert at videoing. I'm not an expert at farming, editing, anything, whatever. But I have a few tips that I've learned over 5 or 6 years of raising cows and a horse and a goat. I've got videos on here where you can place a water, or how to make sure the water stays disinfected for the horse and the cow out in the sun. How-to videos for things in the house, all that kind of stuff. But if you like this, comment on it, subscribe, that would be amazing. And I'm gonna try and keep putting on videos. Thank you. Okay, so our weather changed a little bit, and for the 2 weeks after I put the fly things in, the Captivators fly traps, it got really cold, so there weren't many flies out. But I have 6 or 7 of these out, and look at how thick. There's probably 4,000 flies in there, and then all the maggots are in there, and each one of these has that many in it. So this thing really works, and all you have to do is, now I go and drown all the flies. I fill this hole here, and then I just fill it up with water so they drown and die, because otherwise the first time I opened it up, woo, 100 flies came out. And then I dig a hole in the field and I bury them, and then no other flies can get to them, and then I refill these with water and the new attractant.